I know which one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about. It's probably going to be the same one as me. I think we have the same number. I think we have the same number. Sweet Film Podcast. My name is Zach.
And my name is Cody.
And today we're talking about, we're already a year through. We talked about our top 10 favorite films already throughout this year so far, but now we want to talk about the rest of the year. There's a bunch of films that are coming out that I think a lot of people have forgotten about, Cody. And today we're going to be giving our top 10 list, both of our top 10 lists of what our favorite or most anticipated films coming out for the rest of the year. This is going to be fun. There's a lot of good films coming out this year. I'm going to be honest, I forgot about some of them.
Yeah, honestly, I did too. But I'm really excited to get into this because, honestly, I think there are going to be some surprises on here because people know that I'm a big Marvel and Star Wars fan and everything. And at the beginning of this year, Han Solo was at my most anticipated list. But
that one didn't make my list at all.
Yeah, really. But yeah, we've had some fantastic movies over the past 6.5 months. And I'm excited. So why don't we just get started? But before we get started, guys, you should know that if you don't have time to listen to this episode and you do want to listen to it, hop right over to SoundCloud and iTunes. You'll be able to not only subscribe, but download the episodes there of not just this, but the rest of the episodes of the Sweet Film Podcast, where you can listen to Zach and I's thoughts on various movies, also with some guests that we've had on the show. And you can listen to it whenever, because of course, if you're a busy person, then it makes sense why you wouldn't be able to sit down and watch the whole thing. But hey, maybe you can listen to it. But with that out of the way, Zach, why don't we get into it?
Yeah, so let's get into it. So we do have some honorable mentions first. Cody, I'm going to let you lay out some of yours first, so feel free to go, my friend.
Okay, so I guess for right now, I generally only have 2 honorable mentions. I don't have a ton.
Oh, I do.
But I'm trying to think. Honestly, if you say something that I forgot about, I will probably say that it was in my honorable mentions. But the 2 that I have right now are Mile 22 by Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg. And number 11 is Shane Black's The Predator.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I do have the utmost faith in both of those movies. The only reason why they didn't make it into my top 10 is because although I do have faith, because, it's Shane Black and then Mile 22, Mark Wahlberg, Peter Berg, and those 2 are a fantastic team. These 2 films have the possibility of just being flat out mediocre, and that's why they didn't make it into my top 10 list.
Okay, fair enough. So my honorable mentions. Fuck. All right, so understand the 2 of the films I'm about to mention right now aren't in my honorable mentions because I'm literally seeing them next week. So I'm like, this is the reason that I'm not gonna freak out about them, or I'm seeing them very soon. So Christopher Robin and Mission Impossible are not in my honorable are in my honorable mention, just because I'm seeing them super fast.
Gotcha.
And I'm seeing them. Mile 22 is also in there. I have hope for that film. Black Klansman also would have made it in there, the new Spike Lee film, but I'm seeing it next week. So it's another film I don't want to get into. Happy Time Murders was my number 11. Super close. Couldn't get in there. Suspiria, the new film directed by Luca, who did Call Me By Your Name, is doing a horror film. It's a remake. I'm excited for it. Girl in the Spiderweb, I'm only excited for it because of Fede Alvarez. Yeah. Fantastic Beasts 2, didn't make it because I'm not the biggest fan of the original one. Thought it was fine. Wreck-It Ralph 2 didn't make just barely missed my list.
I completely forgot about Wreck-It Ralph 2.
And that's the reason. I almost forgot about it. I want to put it in there, but I do have worries that it could be an emoji movie. Not as bad, but just it looks like it. Mortal Engines has my attention, but that's a film that, again, it's either going to be a flat-out mediocre film or really brilliant. I don't know. Peter Jackson's really good with picking new directors. He picked District 9's Neil Blomkamp, and he made District 9. I'm hoping the same things with Mortal Engines. And then my last honorable mention is Alita Battle Angel. I think this film looks really cool. and I'm curious to see how Robert Rodriguez comes back to play in this one. You know, it's produced by James Cameron. I don't know how much on board he is, but I'm overall really excited for Alita.
You know what? That's interesting. Mortal Engines and Alita, those are two films that I completely forgot about. Alita Battle Angel, ever since the concept art and the whole story came out about it,
the trailer looks cool.
I mean, it does. It looks really, really interesting. And so I guess without me saying it, those two definitely would have made it into my honorable mentions if I had remembered them.
And then if I had to throw, I'll throw Bumblebee in there too. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Just nothing that I'm like over the moon about. These films are I'm over the moon about. But Cody, let's get to our top 10 list finally. What is your number 10?
Okay, this might surprise some people, but you know, having been a giant fan of the Conjuring universe, number 10 for me is The Nun.
Forgot about this movie.
The Nun.
I forgot about The Nun. I'm not looking forward to it though. So I mean, I hope it's good.
I mean, I have hope that it's going to be good. And the reason why it's not higher up on my list is the fact that I think The Nun can go two different ways. I don't think it's going to be as good as the Conjuring films. However, I think this film could go one or two directions when it comes to the Annabelle films. This film could be this year's Annabelle creation, which I would be perfectly fine with. That would make it a fun, really terrifying horror film. Or it could go the route of the original Annabelle film and be a piece of garbage. But needless to say, I'm a big fan of the Conjuring universe. You guys know this. You know how much I love horror. And so, yeah, that's why The Nun is my number 9. Number 10, rather.
So my number 10 is The Predator. Now, for people who don't know, The Predator is one of my favorite action films of all time. I love the original Predator. I even love the Adrian Brody Predators. I think that is a kick-ass time watching a film. Now, Predator, I'm really excited about because it's Shane Black. He has a really good cast involved. And just Shane Black's never let me down. To be honest, I've enjoyed each and every one of his films. I think his script is always solid. The first Predator trailer was horrible. Absolute horrible. The second one, pretty fun. I liked it. Got my attention, got me back on board of the hype train. I put this at number 10 because I do have a lot of hope for this Predator. I love the Predator franchise. I even like 2. It was fine. But I'm hoping that there is some fun aspects to this, and I hope it's just as good as the original, if not better. I'm just putting it out there. The first one's not a masterpiece. But I'm hoping that this is a fun Shane Black film.
I can see that. I mean, like I said, it's not in my top 10 list, but Predator was actually my number 11 when it came to my honorable mentions. I do have the highest hopes for this movie. And, you know, with Keegan-Michael Key in there, I honestly, from the trailer, he was my favorite part of the newest trailer that we got.
Yeah, I agree with you. He had
yeah, but once again, this is one of those films where I admit I have the utmost hope for this. I'm a big fan of Shane Black. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is one of my favorite films that he made. And we obviously know that Zach and I are big fans of Iron Man 3. And Predator, I have the utmost hopes for it, but I still realize that it could turn into an Alien versus Predator movie, except without aliens.
Yeah, just a super genetic Hulk-sized Predator.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Cody, what is your number 9?
Okay, number 9 for me actually is Venom.
Wow, that low. I'm so excited for this movie, dude.
Yeah, and we'll get into it. But Venom is, when it comes to the top 5 movies or the bottom 5 movies I have on this list, the reason why they are this low on the list is because I realize although I'm excited for them, there is the possibility for them to fail. Like, I am super excited for Venom. Number 1, because Tom Hardy. And number 2, because it looks like they are actually giving us a proper Venom movie.
Yeah, they're the exact one from the comics. Like, he hears the voices in his head, which is cool.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for it. Funny enough, one of the things I found ironic and funny and awesome is that the Venom trailer and the Upgrade trailer with Logan Marshall Green, they look kind of similar.
That's very true. Wonder which one will be better.
Yeah, I am excited. I mean, here's the thing. If Venom turns out like Upgrade did and it's just a different variation, except it's a 80s homage to comic book movies, I'd be okay with that. Like,
see, I want something different from Venom, but I'll get to that when we find it on my list.
Yeah, I mean, I want something different too, because I mean that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed Upgrade is because I feel like it's one of those films that even though there was a lot of similarities to movies from the 80s, it did offer enough stuff that was different that it made it enjoyable. But with Venom, I'm excited for the movie. I can't wait to see what Tom Hardy brings. It's cool to see him be in a comic book movie again. And yeah, I'm just excited. Venom is my number 9. So what's your number 9, Zach?
My number 9, I hate to put it down here, Halloween is at my number 9. I am ecstatic about Halloween.
I completely forgot about it. That would have been in my top 10 if I remembered it. Holy.
Okay, well, as I talk about this, you can shuffle out a film if you would like to. Halloween is my number 9. The reason I'm putting it at number 9 is because I do have some worries about the film still. I worry, can it still be scary in this day and age with the kind of scares that Halloween is? Now, this is, of course, I'm not the biggest Halloween fan. I do appreciate the original one. I hate the Rob Zombie ones. And I really only appreciated and liked the first one. I think John Carpenter is a really mastermind, and the score is still one of the most unsettling scores of all time. The Mask is one of the most unsettling things. And there are a lot of good things to look at for this Halloween film. David Gordon Green's directing, Danny McBride and him both wrote the script, both known for comedic purposes, but the fact that John Carpenter gave him the rights to go and do this film makes me happy. The trailer got me on board. I'm just very nervous. It's kind of the same thing I have with the Predator movies. I'm very nervous to see how it turns out. And I think that's a fair statement to say, is that there is a nervousness to this film. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be scary? Is it going to be bad? It definitely won't be as bad as I don't think as the Rob Zombie films, but I'm wondering, will it be able to capture the magic and the success, not even the success, but the magic that the first one brings, that classic feel? Because really, it's very hard when you kind of do this. And this is kind of be one of the first films that kind of does this, where they, in a sense, reboot an old franchise, but they get washed away all the other things. RoboCop's about to be doing it with Neil Blomkamp, and this is, I feel like, one of the first ones that's actually done it. A lot of films that have tried it don't really work out for the best, and I'm hoping Halloween is the first one to really succeed on a full level.
Yeah, it's interesting when it comes to Halloween, and I guess I'll say some of my major points for later because I have done some shuffling around, and I know exactly which film I would swap out for Halloween. But yeah, I'll save my points. I'll save my points for later because I do agree with everything that you're saying. One thing I will add though is that the thing that I find interesting is that Halloween. This is, while it might be a reboot of the whole Halloween franchise, it's not a reboot of the first film. This is what they're calling the first general sequel to the first Halloween film, which
that's what I like.
That makes me excited, and it makes me excited that it seems like from the trailer that they're actually taking this film seriously, and it's trying to capture the tone of the original Halloween. But yeah, I think you're right. The one thing that I want the scares and what they do with Michael Myers, I want it to be updated.
Yeah, I agree. They need to be not just how they were. Given they do work still, but not like totally like making me scared at night to never sleep. You know what I mean? Like it needs to be kind of psychological to really hit me. At least that's how hits me from it. At least that's how horror hits me, is psychological stuff more compared to jump scares. But Cody, what is your number 8?
Number 8 for me is Bumblebee.
What? And really? Number 8?
Dude, I'm not even joking. Dude, I'm super excited.
Talk about it. This ain't on my list.
Number 1. This is the number 1.
This comes from the man who fucking doesn't like when I argue with him about Last Night being a classical comedy.
Dude, Last Night is trash. But here's the thing: when it comes to
you're fucking trash.
Well, you may or may not be wrong. Okay, so Bumblebee. There are a couple of reasons why I'm really, really excited about this. Number 1, Michael Bay is executive producing it. So that tells me that Michael Bay doesn't have really a lot of influence or say of what this director is going to do with the film.
You're fair on that point. I think the director is the one thing I'm excited for about it.
Number 2, Travis Knight. Yeah. Kubo and the Two Strings was one of my favorite films the year it came out. It was fantastic. So we know we have a great storyteller on board.
I think Bumblebee will show if Kubo and the Two Strings was a one-hit wonder for me. I think Bumblebee, if he can... I don't expect this film to be as good as Kubo, but if he can do something special with it, especially with just the storytelling, I think there will be something good there.
Yeah, and then the next thing for me is being a fan of the original, I grew up with a lot of the old Transformers cartoons. I enjoy the aesthetic and how the Transformers, they actually look like the Transformers from the 80s. I appreciate that. And my last reason on here, because the trailer got me semi-emotionally, because I think if anything else, the thing that is going to work is the relationship between Bumblebee and Haley Steinfeld. And Haley Steinfeld is one of the biggest reasons why I'm excited for this movie. If you guys, it doesn't matter what she's in. She's great. If you guys haven't seen True Grit, watch it. If you guys haven't seen Edge of 17,
Watch it.
You need to watch it. And the main reason is Haley Steinfeld. She's proving herself to be one of the best young up-and-coming actresses we have today. I mean, you look at a film like, say, the Pitch Perfect movies that she's in. Not the greatest movies. In fact, they're kind of bad. But she is the best part of those films, in my personal opinion. And I love the fact, and she got nominated for True Grit, if people don't remember. She got nominated.
That was one of her first roles, too.
Yeah, she was 14 years old, and she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. She is a stellar actress, and it looks like she's going to bring it in this new Transformers movie, too. And I like the element that this is going to be more of a personal solo story about Bumblebee and Haley Steinfeld, that we don't have all of these tons of humans in the mix. We don't have tons of Transformers. It looks like it's going to be Bumblebee and Starscream, and that might be it. And honestly, I'm perfectly okay with that. So that makes me more excited for what Bumblebee has to offer.
Now that you say that, just so you know, they just announced 2 more Transformers are going to be in it.
Well, if Travis,
it's cool. They look like the original models too. I don't remember what their names were, but oh man, now I'm gonna be mad because they announced who was voicing them too. I'm excited though. I think they're all Decepticons. I think Bumblebee's the only Autobot, which is cool.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, Travis Knight, Haley Steinfeld, the fact that this is going to be a solo story with Bumblebee pretty much becoming his own, and the fact that it feels kind of like an old 80s movie with Transformers in it. I mean, I'm excited for this. What can I say?
Hey, I can't blame you. Real fast before I hit my number 8, Bumblebee for me, I really hope it can just hit that emotional story, kind of like an ET type of thing. But my number 8 is Aquaman.
Nice.
And I'm waiting for that trailer to come out, because I know the second I see that trailer, this might shoot up really fast. The reason I say this is because I've been hoping the DCU will get back on its footing. Really hoping it will get back on its footing. And I think Aquaman is the film to do that. They have James Wan directing the film, which James Wan is a mastermind director. The last few films he's directed have been superb. Conjuring 2, even Fast and Furious 7 has the most emotion out of all of them. Given Paul Walker did die, so kind of added to that, but he did a really good job tying together the pieces of fixing that film after he had passed away and really getting to use a lot of footage. That's a hard thing to do. But the way that he's described Aquaman as being a Lord of the Rings type film is what gets me on board. I see it. The mythology, the world building, these images that come out, the characters, Jason Momoa finally coming into full force, the cast in here, Amber Heard, Willem Dafoe, Patrick Wilson. You also got Black Manta, who's going to be showing up in here. Black Manta looks great. There's so much to look for about Aquaman. And I think if Aquaman succeeds and it's another good DCU film, which I'm going to say this. I said Wonder Woman was going to be a great DCU film. It turned out to be. I was wrong about Justice League, but that was more because I was trying to be a nerd and say, oh, Justice League's going to be the best. And I enjoyed Justice League, but it definitely was not what it should have been. Aquaman, I feel like, is going to be something that goes really under the radar, and I hope it does gain traction and people start looking for this film. This film needs to start a marketing campaign now, starting at Comic-Con, and just go into full force. Because this is really like Venom, you can say, is a superhero film, but this is the last big superhero film of the year.
Yeah, I completely agree. And one of the things that gets me on board, I am super excited for Aquaman. It didn't make it onto my list only because there hasn't really been a lot of marketing for it. We've gotten a couple images here and there and people talking about it, but I'd like to see a little bit more from Aquaman, just a little bit more news, a little bit more imagery or a trailer, like you said. And I do have faith in James Wan, but I am super excited for it. I just hope it doesn't turn out like another David Ayer situation, because David Ayer is a fantastic director as well. Although I think the problems that he had with Suicide Squad are not the problems that James Wan has with Aquaman. But if it's true, if it turns out to be Lord of the Rings but underwater, I would be over the moon about it. I am super excited about this.
Yeah,
I
it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great. I'm
I
calling it.
I mean I can't disagree. I'll ride that train with you. I'll also say I have a lot of faith that Aquaman is going to be great. And of course, Jason
Awesome.
Momoa is fantastic.
Oh yeah, dude, he's great. I love watching his interviews. But Cody, we're at number 7. What's your number 7, my friend?
Okay, number 7. Here's the interesting thing. This is where I actually placed Halloween. And the film that I kicked out of the number 7 spot was Happy Time Murders.
Okay, fair enough. I'm excited for Happy Time Murders, but I'm
Yeah,
really worried that that trailer showed like all the best parts. Just saying, like,
yeah. Honestly, Happy Time Murders, I am excited that it's going to be funny and it's going to show Melissa McCarthy coming back to her game. And I'm a big fan of Joel McHale. What can I say? But I also have a feeling that this film has a big possibility of being like Hitman's Bodyguard or like Sausage Party, where you get a few good laughs, but the movie's just mediocre as a whole. I have a feeling that there's a possibility that could happen. It could be the Sausage Party of this year. But Halloween, 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 Halloween. I'm super, super excited for this film. And the reason is this is because it's like the stuff we said before is the fact that it feels like they're taking this story seriously. It feels like they're actually bringing us back to the horror and psychologically tormenting notes the first film brought. You got that score that plays throughout the entire trailer. You got creepy imagery like Myers dropping the teeth into the in the floor of one of that
yeah,
one girl
that's
when
my
she's in
favorite
the
scene in the
stall.
trailer. That's my favorite scene in the trailer.
I mean, it's I have a feeling I'm a little nervous for it, but I do have faith in the movie. Kind of like I have faith in Aquaman. I have faith that Halloween is going to be great. The only thing that I am nervous about is, yeah, there's a possibility that it might just be a really mediocre Halloween sequel. However, this trailer makes it look like it's going to be better than any of the other like the Rob Zombie films or anything we've gotten before. It looks
Yeah,
it looks superb. Let's be honest.
I hope so. I hope so, man. And John Carpenter's doing the score too. That's the thing that should be everyone should be excited for.
Yeah. All right, Zach, you're number 7.
So my number 7 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I am so freaking excited about this film. For people who don't know, like, yes, I love Deadpool. There's a Deadpool shield behind me. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. It's been like that since I was young. It's always been one of my favorite superheroes. Pair to say why I saw Spider-Man Homecoming like 7 times in the theater. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse I thought was a stupid idea when they announced it. Then they say Miles Morales is going to be the Spider-Man. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then they said it's Into the Spider-Verse. I'm like, that's even cooler. And we get Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and then it's rumored or not rumored. Nicolas Cage is gonna be Spider-Man Noir, which is even cooler. And then Spider-Ham, yes, the pig that becomes Spider-Man, is also gonna be in it. They're literally going right into the depths, and that's cool. But the thing that really gets me excited for it is the animation. I'm a huge animation junkie. It's one of my favorite genres, horror and animation. Yes, that's kind of a weird mix. I like both of those because kid movies, horror films, weird on that. But animation, the animation looks just straight out of a comic book. Like literally gleams from the comic book. I love how they made Green Goblin look. I love how they made Kingpin look. I think they look very different in design, but something that fits this style of comic bookish. And just the trailer gets me hyped. It makes me laugh. It makes me smile. It looks like a ton of fun. I really hope this does well. I hope it doesn't turn out to be like a Captain Underpants, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed Captain Underpants. I thought that was a fine animation film, but had beautiful animation. I do think that this film has a very special touch that I think it will work out in the end. But Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse, man, I am so excited for it.
I can understand why. I mean, the movie looks great. Honestly, if I had thought about it and remembered it, this film probably would have made it into my
Cody, you
list
keep
too.
forgetting movies.
Yeah, I know. I'm
It's
silly.
all right.
What
It's
can
all
I
right.
say?
It's all
But
right.
yeah, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Coming from somebody who has never really read any of the comics, who has never really technically picked up a comic book, I think the last comic book I actually read was The Killing Joke, which by Alan Moore.
Hey,
and
that's a great one.
I mean, it's great, but I'm not a comic book junkie. I've never read stuff about Spider-Man. The thing I know about superheroes comes from the movies, comes from the television shows. But this does look excellent, and I can't.
So you are excited for it, though, even though you've never read the comics. You don't know.
No.
This is because I'm kind of getting like a general audience kind of thing from you, since you don't know what it is.
And what can I say is that Spider-Man is one of my all-time favorite characters. He was one of my favorite superheroes growing up. He still is one of my favorite superheroes.
I'm curious to see how they explain all the different Spider-Mans. That's the one thing I'm really looking forward to. Miles Morales and Peter Parker is understandable, but like Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ham, that's going to be the thing that really makes me curious.
Yeah, the way they're taking animation, this is one of my favorite things because back in the day we had Wallace and Gromit with claymation, and then moving forward we had traditional styles of animation as time has gone on, and then we got the Lego series of animation with Lego Movie, Lego Batman, and Lego Ninjago, and now we've got this style of animation, which, as you said, it looks like it's directly out of a comic book. It's really cool, and yeah, although it's not on my top 10 list, it's definitely in my honorable mentions, and I'm excited for it.
Hey, man, you gotta be. But Cody, we're at number 6 now. What's your number 6?
Okay, this is where my fanboyism comes about, and that is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
See, it wasn't on my list, but I will admit the trailer looks really freaking good, and I'm hoping it does what I thought the first one was going to do. It's darker, and I like that.
Yeah, it's not only darker. This is the thing I loved. I enjoyed the first Fantastic Beasts films, although I do admit the film has a lot of flaws. It does. But this film, honestly, although...
That's what he looked like when he was like trying to mate with that. I hated that scene. Hated that scene.
Oh, wow. Look, is that a troll in the comment section? It certainly looks like it.
Probably is. I know how to call them.
But
you want me to call a troll real fast?
Do it.
The DCU fucking sucks.
Oh!
The Last Jedi is amazing, and you shouldn't fucking remake it.
Yep, here comes the hate. Bring on the comments now. But Fantastic, The Crimes of Grindelwald, there are a few reasons why I'm excited for this. As you've already said, it's darker, and the more mature, darker stories inside of the Harry Potter books and movies are some of my favorites. I also, although, he's had problems on set, I will admit that Johnny Depp he's a great actor.
I like him. This hate for him makes me so sad. Because I like the guy. Yes, but honestly, it seems like a majority of actors have issues. Like everyone has their own issues. And yes, is he the best man in the world? No, but neither am I. That's my thing, is that, and no one's getting it's always, that's a different discussion.
Yeah,
it's a different discussion.
Yeah, we can certainly talk about this at another time. However, Johnny Depp, I think, is really good casting for Grindelwald. I just hope he doesn't turn into I hope he doesn't turn into a really overly complicated Jack Sparrow cartoon version of himself. However, from this trailer, those are not the vibes that I'm getting from him. I think we're going to get a solid Johnny Depp performance. The last couple of performances that he's done over the past few years, I think, have been great. I really enjoyed him in Black Mass. I think that's one of his best performances. Good in Black Mass. I also enjoyed him, although the movie itself was pretty bad. I enjoyed him on Murder on the Orient Express. I thought he was one of the best parts. Yeah. Thanks. So I think Johnny Depp is coming back, and Johnny Depp also has another movie coming out this year.
The Biggie and Tupac one, City of Lies.
Yeah, City of Lies, and I'm super excited for that one too. But fantastic. Besides that, we also have Jude Law as young Dumbledore, which I think is genius casting. And my favorite part, the person who brought about the Harry Potter world, who brought Harry Potter into the world, J.K. Rowling is still the person writing the screenplays. And she's the one creating these stories. She's the one creating the whole idea of magic in America, the whole battle between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. All of this stuff, she's the one who founded the idea, created it, and she's expanding on it. And I think it's really exciting that she is finding new ways to create new mythology, new lore within the Harry Potter world. And when an author of such a beloved franchise can come in and actually take charge of writing the scripts, if the scripts are good, then I'm all for it. And although the movie wasn't the best, I do think one of the best things about the first Fantastic Beasts film was the screenplay, because of how much
Screenplay was good.
Of how much mythology that it built. Which
I thought the only thing I didn't like about it was the direction. I thought I really wish they would have gotten a different director, because he's been doing how many Harry Potter films now, and I always feel like these directors should take a break, because then you kind of get that fatigue feeling, and I hope this one doesn't have it. That's a lot of the reason why I didn't like the first one. I thought the screenplay was great. I loved meeting all these new characters. Love all the new characters, especially is it Missy? Is that her name? Love Missy. Yes. Big love for her.
But yeah, so that's where my excitement falls. It's number 6 for me, and I guess the number one selling point for me from all of these Fantastic Beasts films, because supposedly we're supposed to get 5. The biggest selling point for me is J.K. Rowling writing the screenplay, because nobody knows the world of wizardry and the world that Harry Potter comes from like her. So I prefer her writing the scripts above anybody else.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So that calls me to my number 6, and my number 6 is, I'm curious if this made your list. It's Creed 2. Did this make your list?
It actually did, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll talk about that in a second. Creed 2. I am very excited for. Creed was one of my favorite films the year it came out. It's the second best Rocky film. Yes, I said it. It's the second best Rocky film. I am very nervous that we aren't getting our original director back, but still, from what I've read, is that he handpicked this director. He handpicked him himself. He has been really not just that executive producer. He's actually been helping with the film. So that's what makes me excited for it. But of course, the thing I'm really excited for is to see Stallone back and Michael B. Jordan back in the role. The whole story that they're bringing Ivan Drago in here is great. And Tessa Thompson's come back. I love the relationship in the first one. I'm just really excited for Creed. I don't know really much about it. I like the trailer. The trailer gave me chills. I was not expecting to get that from this trailer. And overall, Creed 2, I'm hoping it's just as good as the first one. I'm hoping it's just as good as the first one. It has a high bar to meet, but I'm excited for Creed 2.
Okay, I'm going to transition straight into my number 5, because you were asking if it was on my list, and it is. Creed 2 is actually in my number 5 spot. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I'm very new to watching the first Creed film. I watched it probably a month back, maybe a month and a half, but I love it. It's the best film in the Rocky franchise, in my personal opinion. I enjoy the first Rocky. It's just under Creed for me. The first Rocky film is amazing. Creed is something else entirely. Creed 2, I'm excited to see this inner struggle between the two sons of Creed and Drago. I'm excited to see that clash go head to head. I'm excited for Stallone to come back. I'm excited for this really, really emotional, heart-wrenching story to continue. And I'm just super excited and super on board with all of this. So Creed 2, my number 5. You pretty much said everything that was on my mind about it. So I'll just go from there. So Zach, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is A Star Is Born. I cannot wait for this film. The trailer was amazing. Lady Gaga I'm calling it right now. She's going to get nominated for Best Actress. And I think Bradley Cooper will get nominated for Best Director and Best Actor. He looks phenomenal in here. It's his directorial debut. I am so excited for this film. Literally so excited for this film in so many different ways. The music sounds great. The story sounds great. Yes, it's a remake, but I just love that they're teaming together. And I love that Bradley Cooper especially picked Lady Gaga. If you haven't seen American Horror Story, she's a very good actress. Very good. She's a fantastic singer. And there's so much to look into this film and say, man, that looks awesome. Yes, it's Oscar baity, but I don't care. It looks great.
It does. And I'm not going to say much, because A Star Is Born may actually be on my list too. But yes, it does. It looks fantastic. The music, the trailer, the whole emotional part of this story that it seems we're going to get, it looks great. And A Star Is Born, not just the actors. I without a doubt, I have a feeling it's going to be nominated for Best Picture too.
Yeah, I'm with you on there. But who knows? This film could suck. That's the best thing about the Oscar baity films is what film came out last year that was like a very Oscar baity film, and then or Murder on the Orient Express was one.
Yeah.
That's one that comes to my mind. There's quite a couple that really just never were. Phantom Thread's another one. I didn't like that film. I thought it was kind of overrated.
I like the performances. Didn't really like the movie as a whole.
Yeah. So, but now, since you said you're number 5, now we're on to number 4. We're getting up to our top 4. Cody, what is your number 4, man?
Number 4 is one that you left in your honorable mentions because you're seeing it next week. Christopher Robin.
Yes, dude. I'm so excited for this.
Okay. And honestly, I can't wait. And I'm going to call it right now. You know, I might be wrong, but I'm going to call it right now. Christopher Robin. I'm pretty sure Christopher Robin is going to be in my top 5 films of this year. I mean, the film as a whole. It's the
Logan of the Disney universe.
Like, this film looks so good. And the animation of all our beloved characters, Tigger, Pooh, Rabbit, Piglet, Eeyore. The animation, I never thought I would want realistic looking versions of all of these beloved creatures from the 100-Acre Wood. But we got them, and they look great, and the voices are there. And one of my favorite aspects about this trailer is, yes, it's going to be a bit darker, but I love the fact that we're getting a story that it seems like kids and adults can connect to, because you have the story of Pooh Bear and Tigger and all of them going out to try to save Christopher Robin. And then you have Christopher Robin as an adult trying to deal with his own personal life, with his, mortgages, family, all this dark, depressing stuff that is affecting him in his own life. And
Ewan McGregor playing Christopher Robin.
That is genius casting.
Yeah, it is, dude.
I'm
gonna cry.
Honestly, he might not get nominated. He might not get nominated for the Oscars.
It's gonna be a Logan situation.
I can also say that I think I will come out of Christopher Robin not only saying it was one of my favorite films of the year, I'll probably also say that Ewan McGregor was gave one of my favorite performances of the year as well.
And he'll probably be nominated for Sweet Film Award. Who knows? But I'm curious, Cody, do you like the animation that they have for the bears and stuff? I love it. I think it looks cool.
No, it's like I said, I didn't know I wanted realistic looking Tigger, Pooh, Eeyore, like realistic looking
stuffed animals too.
Really grungy stuffed animals. But I absolutely love the style of animation, because this particular style of animation, when it's applied to stuffed animals that talk and move and breathe and live, I've never seen animation applied kind of like this before. Mm-hmm. And I think it looks really unique and really cool.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll say one thing before I get to my number 4. I will be super disappointed if this film's bad. I hope it actually has a very good story. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it's a good story. I hope it's fun, but all at the same time, it's very serious and it has that growing up feel. I'm really looking forward to that. But we're on to my number 4, which is Venom. I'm Venom. I am so excited for Venom. First trailer, I liked it. It was fine. Could have been better. Second trailer, amazing, off the wall. I actually did a trailer reaction for that, and I freaked out.
Do whatever we want. Do we have a deal?
I love it. I just love that in the trailer where all the arms start popping out and he starts hitting everything, and he's like, I'm sorry. I don't know. But the reason I'm super excited for this is because I wasn't excited when they announced it. I was like, why? We don't freaking need this. But Tom Hardy got signed on. After that, I was fine. Given Tom Hardy doesn't always pick the best films, but he does pick the roles that I think challenge him. And this is a role that I think he's going to dive deep into. I'm really excited for Venom. A little nervous. I'm wondering how I'm going to get it. What I'm hoping from Venom is that it's more of not a superhero film, but a horror film. People are praising that we see Carnage. I don't care if we see Carnage. I think if we get a little bit glimpse into Carnage, because apparently it's rumored that Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage, which is fantastic casting, I'm fine with that. And I was also reading an interview today that someone asked him how the action scenes would be. He's like, imagine it's Captain America, but he's biting people's heads off. I'm like, that's freaking cool. I want that. I hope it's still R-rated. I'm hearing that. I'm assuming it's R-rated. But Venom hope so. Venom's on my top list for this year. I will be so disappointed if this film sucks. So disappointed if this film sucks. But we're moving into our top 3 now. What is your number 3, Cody?
You know what? You talked about this a little bit earlier. A Star is Born.
Yes.
This trailer, this is in my top 3. You know, the first time I watched the trailer to this movie,
I've
it
watched it
got
quite a
me.
few times too.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, and every time I've watched it since, the trailer just gets me on such a deep and emotional level because you look into this, and it's not just about, it's not just about a couple of artists who come together and fall in love and make great music. It's a really deep and personal struggle of people who are trying to become the best versions of themselves that they can be, even though they've got a lot of personal issues. And through their music and through each other, it feels like they can finally be whole. It feels, man, I might get emotional just talking about it right now. But yeah, A
It's okay
Star
if
is
you cry a
Born.
bit. It's okay.
A Star is Born. I can't really say anything more than you already said, other than this movie looks incredible.
It
It
really
looks
does. It really
amazing.
does, man. It looks
What's your
amazing.
number three, Zach?
First Man. So excited for First Man. It's
Ooh,
directed by, I'm blanking right now. What's
Damien
his name?
Chazelle.
Damien Chazelle, youngest winning director. He made La La Land, which is one of my favorite films of all time. Whiplash, another one that could easily be thrown in there. I'm so excited for First Man. You got Ryan Gosling in here. Claire Foy, who never really known her until I saw Unsane this year, and she really, really impressed me in Unsane. But man, I am so excited for First Man. I don't know really anything about it. I'll be honest, I watched the trailer, I liked it, but I don't want to see any more from it. I just want to go and see the film. Neil Armstrong, the fact that Damien Chazelle's tackling a thing like this, and I'm looking to see what kind of music's going to put in here, because all of his films have always resembled around music. I'm so excited for this film. I can just keep saying I'm so excited, but I think this film is going to sweep the Oscars. I don't know if it'll sweep it actually, but I bet it will be nominated for a ton of things. The
Yeah.
cinematography, especially, cinematography looks gorgeous in that film. Gorgeous.
Honestly, this is I will not be surprised if Ryan Gosling gets nominated for Best Actor and probably wins. But
He needs to. It's shocking he's still never won.
Honestly, this year I'm gonna call it right now. The Best Actor nomination, it's gonna be between Bradley Cooper and Ryan Gosling at the Oscars this year.
Really? See, I wouldn't count out Walking Phoenix. Or
Actually, you know what? There is something else, but that is a completely different number on my list. You know what?
I know which one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about. It's probably gonna be the same one as me. I think we have the same number. I think we have the same number.
I think we have the same number one, you weirdo.
Yeah, we probably have the same number one, and I'm calling it. He's gonna win.
Okay.
I forgot. I was like, he's gonna win.
Awesome. This is awesome. No, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be very close. And what I can say, I'll just transition into my number two, because number two for me is also First Man. Okay. Okay, if you guys don't know, I am
the Krusty Krab.
No, this is Patrick. No, but First Man, I'm super, super excited about this because Damien Chazelle has also come on board and said that this is going to be a biopic that is not like other biopics. And I'm really, really curious what he means by that.
I think we're going to get a La La Land scene that's like when they're dancing.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm super, super excited because if there's one thing we know about Damien Chazelle with what he did with Whiplash, is that he knows how to build tension between characters. And
Yes.
this movie, I feel this movie's definitely going to have more tension than any other film he has done so far. And he's a young director. And of course, Damien Chazelle more than likely is going to be nominated for Best Director again.
Will he win though? That's the thing. Will he win?
That's a good question, but this movie as a whole, it looks great. It looks gritty. It looks on the ground. The score that's in the trailer is fantastic. I can't wait for First Man to come out. I'm going to be there opening night with a big smile on my face because if you guys don't already know, Damien Chazelle, and of course for so many other people, Damien Chazelle is one of our favorite actors working today. As far as a young actor goes, there aren't a lot of between young actors or new directors. I would say my favorites right now are definitely Damien Chazelle, but also Jordan Peele and Ari Aster. Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, and Damien Chazelle are my three.
Greta Gerwig. Don't forget about Greta Gerwig, man.
You know what? We could probably Okay, let's just make it 4. Those 4 directors, Greta Gerwig, Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, John Krasinski, and Damien Chazelle, newest directors on the block, and some of the best working today, even though they're new.
Yeah.
But that's what I can say about
my
First
number
Man.
2 now, right? My number 2 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 2, I'm very disappointed that you left this out of your list, and I think you forgot about this film. It's called Bad Times at the El Royale. It's directed by Drew Goddard. I'm so excited. I am so excited for this film. The all-star cast: Chris Hemsworth. I mean, John Hamm. Isn't the 50 Shades lady in here too? Dakota.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
Dakota
so just the whole cast in general. But the thing I'm really excited for is because I have no idea what this film's about. I don't know if it's a horror film. I don't know if it's an action film. Jeff Bridges is also in here. But the reason I'm excited for it is because Cabin in the Woods is one of my favorite horror films of all time. Drew Goddard directed that. He's a fantastic writer. He wrote The Martian. Martian's one of the best scripts I've seen in a couple years. He wrote and directed this film. It has a mix between a horror action thriller kind of thing, and this cast just has me on board. I'm not watching another trailer after this. I just want to see the film and just be amazed. And cinematography looks amazing too. Just gotta say that.
You know what? Screw it. You know what? I don't even care. I'll make Bad Times at the El Royale tied with First Man for my number 2. Okay. I'm super
It's our show. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, it's true. And one of my favorite parts about the trailer is the shift in tone halfway through, because at the beginning it's very whimsical. You got everybody coming to the El Royale. You get introduced to John Hamm and all of these other characters and actors, and that's all happy-go-lucky. Second half of the trailer looks like a flat-out horror movie, and it sounds like a horror movie. The score in the trailer, once again, is fantastic. I mean, I'm super excited for this.
I feel like you're kicking yourself in the ass.
Yeah, I am. But
so if you can only see one film between this, First Man, or A Star Is Born, you have to choose.
Okay, well, Star Is Born is definitely out because it's between El Royale and First Man.
So which one?
Honestly, just because it looks so different. Biopics are something. I love Damien Chazelle, but I would want to see Bad Times at El Royale because it looks like it's going to be a very different kind of movie that we've never seen before.
I also, real fast, I want to go back to First Man. Did you hear that it might get an early release in IMAX?
Really?
Yeah, apparently that they're pushing to get it earlier in IMAX, and then like a couple weeks later, just release it in normal theaters.
I certainly hope that happens.
Same,
I
dude,
really
same.
Do. But Bad Times at the El Royale. And I think it's going to be really fun to see Chris Hemsworth play something he absolutely has not before and play this really, really crazy serial killer type of individual. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, same here, dude. It looks great. But I'm guessing we have the same number 1. So on the count of 3, we're both going to scream it. 3, 2, 1. Bohemian Rhapsody. Yes, I'm guys, for every time you guys, because I saw a comment once and the guy was like, you guys probably plan your list together. No, like when we have the same thing, we don't do that. We literally make them separate and then get on here. We don't tell each other what our lists are.
If you guys couldn't tell, okay, not just our reaction to Marvel, but our reaction to this, if you guys honestly don't think that this is genuine emotion, then you guys obviously don't know us very well, because honestly, knowing that Zach's number 1 for the rest of the year is the same as mine, that kind of makes me freak out because of just how awesome it is.
So first off, while talking about this film, the trailer's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Nothing but a spectacle. It was it felt like a concert, but not in a bad concert way, but in a really good concert way. Energy, vibrance, colorful, and Rami fucking Malek. This man, he will win the Oscar for this year. This is one of the best actors going to date. If you have never watched Mr. Robot, he's a phenomenal actor in there. He is so freaking fantastic in anything I've ever seen him in. And he's in another indie film with Charlie Hunnam this year that looks amazing. And that almost probably would have made my honorable mentions too, but dude, he's gonna win it. Like I do not, and even if the movie sucks, even if the movie flat out sucks, I think he'll still be nominated.
Yeah, absolutely. And my favorite part about this film is, they're showing the high energy aspect of this whole spectacle that was this phenomenal group of musicians, of talented people. The thing that I'm excited for, though, is the thing that they're not showing in the trailers. I don't want to see anything else because I have a feeling I know what they're going to do. And although this movie looks upbeat and happy, without a doubt, I can say I think we're going to be getting a lot more. We're going to be getting into the personal life of one of the greatest musicians that was ever born. We're going to be getting into the personal life of Freddie Mercury, and we're going to be seeing the kind of life that he led. Which, if you guys are fans of
I hope they
Queen,
get into that. I hope to God they get into that. If they don't, I'll be disappointed. I hate when they do
honestly,
that stuff.
I understand the trailer and everything was high octane and everything. I want this film to be rated R because,
It has to be. It has
yeah,
to be rated R.
I mean, if you guys don't know the story of Freddie Mercury, I'm not going to spoil that for you, but look it up because Freddie Mercury, great musician, he led one of the most weirdly strange lives of any musician out there. He was, yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but his story is worth looking into. Even if you want to just look into it before Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, comes out, you
Yeah.
guys need to look into it
He looked
because,
so great in the part. I remember when Sacha Baron Cohen was supposed to play him, and I was like, damn. And he ended up not doing it, which I understand why. It was a lot of conflicts. He was supposed to pretty much, he had his version of the film, and the band was like, no. And that's where
yeah,
I'm kind of a little bit worried about. But Bryan Singer's directing. Obviously, there was issues with him, and he left for the last 2 weeks. But I'm hoping it turns out well.
yeah. I mean, the thing that I guess I'm most nervous about is it looks great in the trailer. The spectacle looks fantastic. The thing that I'm really a little curious about and nervous about is Remy Malek's vocal range. I'm really curious to see if he's going to be able to hit the same
Do you
level
think
of,
it's actually him though?
it might or it might not be. I'm just curious because if he can hit the same level of notes that Freddie Mercury could, oh my gosh, that's going to be amazing to see. And those concerts, I do not want them cutting from the concert scenes.
Yeah, I hope it's like Straight Outta Compton because I love Straight Outta Compton.
you know, it could be like that. But okay, here's an example I would love to see. Bad movie. I'll say it right there. Bad movie. But the kind of performance that Tom Cruise gave in Rock of Ages on stage
Dude,
when he
that
was
was
performing,
fantastic.
I want that same kind of energy, enthusiasm, and concert adrenaline pump inside of the Bohemian Rhapsody
I
concerts.
also must be the only person that enjoyed Rock of Ages.
Well, I enjoyed the music and I
Enjoyed it more
enjoyed
than
Tom
Grease.
Cruise. Grease is bad. I'm not going to deny it. It's pretty
Holy
bad.
shit! I thought you'd argue with me on that.
No, I think Grease is it's a guilty pleasure for me. I know the movie's horrible, but Bohemian
Damn, dude,
Rhapsody.
you're gonna get fucking attacked. Fuck the DCU and shit.
Well, if people are gonna, you know what, they come at me, bro. People are allowed to have their opinions, but
The last,
Bohemian Rhapsody,
yeah, looks great. Looks amazing.
it
So,
does.
the last thing I want to throw out there. Do you have one film that you think looks like utter shit for the rest of the year? Utter
Oh,
shit. I have one, but I want to hear yours. If you
I'm
have
trying.
one. I know this is on the spot because I just remember this film and I wanted to bring it up because I think it looks like utter shit. I can just talk about it while you're thinking.
I
It's
got a
called.
couple.
Okay. Do you want to say them?
Number one, Kin. I do
I
not
haven't seen the trailer for it, but I keep seeing the poster.
Dude, it looks, there's the thing. I'm intrigued because it says from the producers that brought you Stranger Things
Yeah, but
and
they always do that shit.
yeah, I know. And then the other one is AXL.
Oh, fucking goddamn. So mine is The Darkest Mind, that X-Men freaking stupid looking thing. It like
Yeah.
might as well just say it's an X-Men film. It's like it
Yep.
actually was an X-Men film, and they were gonna like trick us, like, oh my god, this is an X-Men film. And then they're like, no, this film's bad. Same trailer I always see. Meg, not excited for Meg. Not
Nope.
excited for Meg
That
whatsoever.
movie looks bad.
Hope it surprises me. Alpha, I don't like the trailer. I think it looks stupid.
Yep. I'm with you
And the
there.
last one that I hope turns out better is Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm in the middle. You know what other film we keep forgetting to talk about? Slender Man. That's still coming out this year.
oh gosh, yeah, and it comes out next month. Here's the thing.
And it's not going to be
If
good.
Slenderman reminds me of if I get to see Slenderman walk around and be stupid like he was in the video game, then I guess I can get some morbid level
Yeah.
of enjoyment. But Slenderman is not going to be
All
good.
right, so I'm going to throw a couple more things for you. What do you think of Robin Hood?
I think the movie is going to be. I think the movie's going to be like King Arthur, like a guilty pleasure kind of thing.
Agree.
But that's about it.
Do you know if I'm actually kind of looking forward to the house with a clock in its walls? Looks
No,
really cool.
Yeah, no, I'm interested about that. And like I said, unlike the actual Goosebumps movie with Jack Black, this film with Jack Black in it, The House with the Clock in Its Walls, it feels like somebody took a Goosebumps book and they adapted it to the big screen.
Totally agree. So I'm like looking at what's coming out in October. So this is October. The first week of October, it's Venom and A Star is Born and Bad Times at the El Royale. The next weekend, it's Goosebumps 2, which looks like utter crap.
Yeah.
First Man. The next weekend, it's Halloween, and a film that we forgot to talk about was Mowgli. We forgot to talk about Mowgli, the Andy Serkis directed Jungle Book film.
What I can say about Mowgli is I am very excited for it only because it looks like it's going to be while we got the story of Mowgli while he was raised into the jungle up to the point after the jungle was saved from Shere Khan. I like the fact that they're going to take this story that it's pretty much after that fact, that we're getting a much darker story. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a Benedict Cumberbatch fan. I can't wait to see what Cumberbatch's voice is like for Shere Khan.
So real fast, the last one I want to bring up before we go is Overlord. Nothing about it yet. This apparently was rumored to be a Cloverfield film, but it's not. But it's about the story of two American soldiers behind enemy D-Day lines, and it's a horror film. Hard R horror film produced by J.J. Abrams, and I'm excited for it. I don't care if it's Cloverfield. I just like the concept.
Yeah, that's good. Hard R horror film in D-Day? Yeah. Give me that movie right now, please.
Yeah, it's like an alternate, like World War II type thing. So I'm looking forward to that. There are a ton of films that we're forgetting. I'm going through them right now, and I'm like, holy crap, we didn't talk about a lot of them. But that's what this thing's about. So I want to hear your guys' comments down below. Let's hear it down below. What is some of your most anticipated films for the rest of the year? Beautiful Boy could have been another one that Steve Carell and Timothy Chalamet will probably get nominated for too. Looks heartbreaking. Tons of great films. But before we get going, Cody, where can they find you at?
Okay, well, guys, you can obviously find me here on YouTube. Just search not underscore Cody. What am I talking about? Just search Cody Curtis up in the search bar. You'll be able to find me. It should be the first name that pops up on Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust. Search underscore Cody underscore Curtis. You'll find me there. And guys, before we leave off, those are the places you can find me. Also, remember us on SoundCloud and iTunes. Go over there, subscribe. If you don't have time to listen to the episodes here, go over there, subscribe, download the episodes. And by the way, in a little while, guys, you guys are going to get the first episode of Entertainment Wars coming to you very soon.
Yeah, so look out for a live stream on that. I think we'll probably announce a date, go over a couple things, and we'll probably do another episode right after discussing what we learned, what we want to fix, what we're going to change, and announcing who will be in that episode. So that'll be a lot of fun. So there's a lot of things looking out for that. I think we're going to also try and get it up on the podcast feed so people who can't watch it on YouTube get to watch it on there. You guys are seriously all the best. Go subscribe to Cody, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the iTunes feed. Tons of great stuff, guys. We love doing this podcast. It's a ton of fun to just talk about everything that we can do. So, guys, of course, you guys are seriously all the best. So until next time, you guys all stay classy and have a sweet day.